Good morning, my friends. I laughed as soon as I pressed the button. I look out my window and there's a squirrel just looking me right in the face, and then he ran. It's a funny area I live in. And welcome to another week with Gord, your hurtin' hippie. And it is a cold one this morning. I didn't even look at the temperature. It's probably only -4, -5. Feels like -10. The sun hasn't even peeked out yet, and it's 8. But we're getting near the equinox of winter. And then the days will start getting longer. We're getting close. Friends, what have I got today? Well, I'm just so upset at Biden in the States. Talking about cannabis being an entry drug, a gateway drug. And I can't believe that some of these old people still get away with that kind of bullshit talk. But first, I always try to keep you guys here a bit longer. First, my friends, we got a whole bunch of new people joining us, so a big thumbs up to everybody, and let you all know that I'm hoping for a Dave-less week. For those of you, yes, my new followers, Dave is the name of my anxiety. I have a good friend who has a degree in psychology, and she told me easily a year and a half ago, name your anxiety. Find a name that you can give it that doesn't reflect somebody you know. If it has to be somebody you don't like. But really try to pick a rather generic name that doesn't mean a lot to you and name it. And talk to it like it's somebody else, because the most important thing this teaches you is to separate your anxiety from yourself. It is not a piece of you. It is foreign to you, and you can, with practice, tell it to go away. And I've been telling Dave to F off for a while, and it seems, except for a few hours yesterday, he sure did not hang around this weekend. It's been a really good weekend. And last night, yeah, you guys all saw the video of my community walk, whatever I called it, I don't remember. I'll put the video up here, but you all saw that I went on a heck of a walk with a lot of exercise and everything. And yesterday was a little difficult. My back was tight. That walk, even though I took it, it looks like I ran up those stairs. I promise you, my friends, I took a long time to get up those stairs. That walk to the co-op should have been 15 minutes. It was 45. It probably took me a half an hour to get up them. But let's throw a little something up here. And you watch me climbing up those stairs, trying so hard to get up. Those aren't stairs, that's just cement. And it's a walkway near my son's new place. He loves walking that area. And another picture, there's my grandson in the very top, standing beside Gordy, and then Pasha, then me. We had a nice visit, and then we went for that walk that you just saw. And I thought I'd also show you one last thing. Look at the kind of money that's in this neighborhood. I'm putting this full screen because look at that house. Look at the size of that house. It's been building for about a year and a half, and it's now complete and for sale. And I'd love to look up and see what kind of price that's going for. That house is too big for any one person, but it's not an apartment. It's a house. So, friends, pitter patter, get at her, Gord. What about this cannabis exit drug or a gateway drug? Now, I know before anybody tags me for using anecdotal evidence to try to back up my general statement, but sometimes anecdotal, especially in the world where cannabis has been illegal for so long, is the only kind of evidence we have. However, if cannabis was an entry drug, a gateway drug, as the old man Biden says, then Willie Nelson, you are pretty slow at getting through that gate. Whole bunch of people, Woody from Cheers, Woody Harrelson, is another really good example of somebody who's been out there as an advocate to cannabis for a very long time, but hasn't done anything else. And yes, this old guy started with cannabis, and I did move into other things. But you know what? I moved into other things when I was young. Every single time I tried something new, it was because of the booze I had been drinking, not the pot that I had been smoking. If I had never touched alcohol when I was young, I don't think I would have ever tried some of the other things that I did. But I'll tell you, when I quit cold turkey after a 6-month, 9-month really bad bout with cocaine in my late 20s, after a really bad accident that I got into and a bad depression, that's what got me into it. I was on really high barbiturates, pharmaceuticals and everything for the pain, and I went into cocaine and crack cocaine. And it was horrible, and I quit cold turkey. And how did I do it? I went and switched up and got cannabis. I know it's anecdotal, but here's an even better one. I drank most of my life. I've drank a fair amount of my life, up till 16 years ago, 16 and a half, 2003, when I was told that I was dying. And I had young children, then I didn't have Pasha yet, and my children were just becoming adults, and I had raised them myself. There was no way I was going anywhere. There was no way I was accepting that I had 2 years to live. So I immediately, that day, quit drinking. I had not touched cannabis in 2003, probably for a year or so. I moved away from it. And I immediately called a few friends until I found a place to get some black hash. That was all I could get at the beginning. And it was that black hash that helped me get over those first few weeks of quitting booze cold turkey. And I've never, ever gone back. Now, I agree with all of you. That is anecdotal. There are people that will try pot and then they'll try something else, but you know what? The pot didn't lead them to the something else. The something else, the friends, the environment. One thing that is really, really clear, and people do not want to admit it, is that some of us are prone to addiction, some are not, and those who are prone to addiction, I lost track of that. Those who are prone to addiction, we get addicted easily. We have a hard time getting out of it. No, that isn't what I wanted to say. So what I wanted to say is, even though that is anecdotal, that anecdote is shared among so many people, how cannabis helped them quit the harder stuff. Most people, not all people, but most people want some kind of imbibement in their life. They like to imbibe on something. They like to get a little high here or there, once in a while, or a lot. And having something that is strong and gets you through the difficulties without the major addictive factor is a good thing. And now I remember what I want to say is that See, I lost it again. The addictive factor. I talk about that, and some of us get addicted easier than others. Some of us have addictive personalities. Some of us can get addicted to so many things. Yes, you can get addicted to marijuana. It's more up here. It is not a physical addiction, but addiction is addiction. And addiction is your environment, not the drug you're addicted to. The drug you're addicted to is usually determined by happenstance. The fact that you're addicted is more dictated by your environment. You want to quit and get away from just relying on a medicine or a drug, then you need to improve and affect your environment. And if our society can move away from demonizing people who are addicted into doing health care for those who are addicted, helping them with their environment instead of superimposing their environment on themselves. Think about it. Somebody addicted to cocaine or heroin or amphetamines, and they get caught and they get thrown in jail. Their environment gets worse. They're going to need those drugs again. But if they instead are found to be addicted and instead of put in jail, given to authorities to help them health-wise, to give them a psychiatrist or psychologist to get them involved in group meetings and try to improve their environment, we're going to get better results and less addiction in this world. And we have to battle the large pharmaceuticals that put addictive stuff into their medicine to keep us hooked. Don't buy the stigma. If it doesn't sound right, it ain't right. And one day, instead of anecdotal evidence, all this will be proved. Now, thanks to legalization in Canada, and it's spreading throughout the world. So friends, you know what it's time for. Yeah, we have talked about quite a few things lately, and there's quite a few funny things. And this first one, excuse me, I'm not sure what I'm going to throw up there to make it look funny, but daddy longlegs have penises, which technically make them not a spider. It's nice to know I'm not a spider. The television was invented only 2 years after the invention of sliced bread. That I never, ever knew. And we'll leave with bullfrogs never sleep. That's an interesting one, friends. Sleep on that for a while. Peace and cheers, love and harmony. Catch you tomorrow.